This city means a lot to me. And I'm here tonight only partly because I'm a Democrat. I'll say more about that in a minute. But because I believe in Gavin Newsom and his politics.
Yeah.
We are now engaged in America in a great struggle to define the shape of our country and its role in the world for the next several decades. I won the first skirmish, and with the help of the Supreme Court, they won the second one. But my basic belief is the only way a progressive party can win, ever, whether we're facing terrorism or some other fear, is to get people to think. To believe in the primacy of ideas, to believe that ideas have consequences, and to believe that all of us should be judged on the consequences of the work we do. And anytime, one of my 10 rules of politics is, anytime somebody gets you to stop thinking, they are not your friend. And I've seen the Republicans over and over again run on the basis of ideology, try to turn us into cardboard cutouts, and try to get a certain number of voters to stop thinking. I like San Francisco because nobody gets excluded because of who they are. If you're willing to work and roll up your sleeves and play by the rules, you can be part of this community. You can be part of its future. But America has some serious challenges today. We've made some progress in our schools, but they're not good enough. We've made some progress in modernizing government and making it more user-friendly, but not nearly enough. And hardly anybody has done the serious thinking they should be doing about where the next 20 years' worth of jobs that were the equivalent of what the dot-com companies in Silicon Valley gave us in the 1990s. And I have actually, unlike some voters, I've actually read Gavin Newsom's platform. I know what he wants to do for the schools, for the local infrastructure. I know he's proposed a local earned income tax credit, which is one of my favorite things. And I know that ever since I started running for president, he's been interested in the politics of ideas and building bridges and reaching out and bringing people together. And that's what you're fighting for. And you have to fight for it, as he said, starting in a few hours. Now, the second thing I want to tell you is that I've learned something in the last couple of years from the Republicans. And it isn't how we ought to run the country. but it is how we ought to run elections. In 2002, the undecided voters said, other things being equal, they'd rather have more Democrats in Congress. They won a few seats. We should have won a few. They won a few seats for two reasons. One is they got a certain number of people to stop thinking was one of the great con jobs in American history. They said, well, we can't really convince people the Democrats don't love America because of Iraq and Afghanistan, so we're going to be for this Homeland Security bill that we've been against for 8 months. We'll change our position, put a few poison pills in it, make it impossible to pass by Election Day, and the day after we decide we're for the bill we're against, everybody who's still against it is a traitor to the country. And they beat Max Cleland in Georgia, a man who left half his body in Vietnam by doing it. I don't agree with that, but let me tell you one thing they did that I do appreciate. They also had the most sophisticated operation for identifying their potential voters in American history by far. In 1992, our people outvoted them. In 1994, we got beat because their people outvoted us. In 1996, it didn't matter because we had a healthy victory. In 1998, we beat them for the first time since 1822. The President's Party won seats in the Congress in a 6th year of a presidency. Since 1822, because we outvoted them. And you beat two incumbent Republicans in California. In 2000, we had an equal turnout. And we just didn't beat them bad enough to stay out of the Supreme Court. But in 2002, they outvoted us badly. We just lost the governor's race in Mississippi, the third one we've lost over the Confederate flag because they got people to stop thinking. And the incumbent governor had a good record on jobs, a good record on schools, was impeccably honest and very progressive, and everybody thought he'd done a good job. And he got more votes when he got beat than he did when he won. Because they pulled out their voters. I'm telling you this because of what you've got to do in a few hours. One of the things I like about several of our candidates doing well on the internet this year is they prove that we're the party of empowerment. And that's really what you've got to do. You've got to go out and prove that a candidate who runs on ideas and unity and the idea that we ought to think together as well as feel together can win. And you have to do it by pulling the vote out. And you just remember what I told you. There's no reason in the wide world that a party with right-wing ideology should be able to do a better job pulling out its voters than a party that offers to bring people together and lifts their hopes. And you have to prove that. And I'm telling you, hear me now, if the story tomorrow is that this good candidate put most of his money into a grassroots organization and put 1,000 people in the street designed to prove that he could pull people out who ordinarily wouldn't vote, and they would actually vote based on a campaign of ideas rather than emotions, it will go like a rifle shot across America. Then we'll spend the next year seeing whether we can do it on election day in 2004. It's not as easy as it used to be a mayor. The economy's down all over the country. They've gone from surplus to deficit and didn't spend the money to help people. Our cities, our states, which is one of the reasons you're in the fix you're in, they kick people out of after-school programs and off of college loans and out of job training programs and even uniformed police off the street. It all makes the mayor's job harder. So you need somebody who's really thought about it and got a really good plan. You all know that, but a lot of people who might or might not vote tomorrow don't necessarily know it. And I'm telling you, I learned this from the Republicans in 2002 and in this Mississippi governor's race. If you don't think starting right now you can change the outcome of this election, you're wrong. Right now, you can make a 5% difference in the outcome of the election from now until the polls close tomorrow night. And it's all up to you. When you're celebrating tomorrow night, wherever you have your celebration, I want you to remember what I told you. And remember, America's going to be looking at you. And then when it's all over and said and done, say you did it with people power. You gave the city of San Francisco a better future through people power. And that's what the rest of us ought to do for the next year. Thank you. And God bless you.